Hello, Spurs fans. Paul the Hotspur Hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. I've got it right back of the net. How do you like that one? Pick it out, Seaman. I hope you're all well. I hope you're excited. I hope you're buzzing. I certainly am, because last night I stayed up late to watch Ange's press conference, his first press conference as Spurs' new gaffer, and then did a bit of a stream this morning, a bit bleary-eyed, you know, and then went out for a walk in the beautiful reserves near me, bit of nature, did another video, got back, uploaded it, and then someone comments, have you seen the embargoed section? The embargoed section? There's another whole section. So the one last night, or whatever time zone you're in, I don't know, the world's round, it's all very confusing. But there was a half hour of goodness, like first release, and then there was another 20 minutes on top of that. Another 20 minutes. And it was that 20 minutes that got me absolutely super excited. I've just watched another interview. He did an interview for Optus Sport over here, which is like a telephone company that does football streaming. So, I don't know, it's the modern world, it's capitalism. Don't ask me, I don't understand any of it. But that was pretty good too. Not so much Spurs relevance in that one. It's more from an Australian point of view and Australian soccer, where there were a couple of really good Tottenham relative things in there. The main thing I was excited about today, and a bit in a wee bit. Let me just waffle a bit. I'll get to the comments, and then bugger it. There's some people on. So if you want to, I'll give you a warning now. If you want to come on, that's all well and good. Just, you know, get yourself all smartened up, and then you know, giving you a bit of time to, you know, look wonderful for the world or 10 people. But the real bit that got me absolutely buzzing, was this: Ange Postecoglou in 1981. And this is something I've said a couple of times. I was pulling a long one out of my bottom when I said this, but I just thought it might happen in his first press conference, and it bloody did. He didn't. I was a bit, you know, after the first thing, I thought, oh yeah, that was good. It was great actually, but he didn't mention much about the past. But then some Fleet Street meathead hack asked him, oh, so you've been from the other side of the world. Have there been any Tottenham players in the past that have caught your eye? And I think this cheeky little bugger was kind of trying to catch the mighty Ange Postecoglou out. No dice, man. Because this is what this is why I'm so happy, man. Because I was kind of hoping he'd say something like this, knowing his history. But in Australia, back in the day, bugger all football on the TV. You got the FA Cup. That was about it. And I said, I bet he mentions 1981. And lo and behold, there it was. He said, you know, and I'm just repeating what he says, and I've just repeated what I did in another video. By the way, did 2 videos today. I've now got conclusive proof that if I don't stand in front of trees, if I stand in front of trees, I get more views than if I were just standing in front of the sky or something like that. I don't understand it. It's nothing to do with you. It's not your fault out there. I know you're not doing it. It's just the way YouTube farms it out to people, because I can see how many people it's farming it out to, and it's farming out the one with trees more. I don't know why, but oh well, I like trees. Maybe YouTube knows that we Tottenham Hotspur fans are a peace-loving people. That's what it means to me. Anyway, he said, yeah, and he explained that, you know, it was a big thing to stay up in the middle of the night and watch the FA Cup. And when he was a kid, he watched our 1981 Cup final. And he said he remembered Ozzy and Ricky and Glenn Hoddle. But more than that, and this is why one of those things I thought, this is what is going to tie him into Spurs. He said it was a very special memory for him, doing it with his dad late at night, special memory. And he said, I think I've got the words right, but he said, those memories stick with you. I've got the transcript here. I might go back to it later for a bit more padding to give you the exact words. But when he said that, man, I was punching the air. I'm thinking, yes, man. Even more than ever, I think this was the guy. Like a couple of days ago, I was worried about defenders. Couldn't give a shit about that now. Because we've got Ange Postecoglou in charge. Now, something that interesting he said on this Optus Sport interview. The main The main bit Spurs relevant that I took out of it was the interviewer asked him, you know, when you make it a thing when you go into teams to, you know, connect with the fans as a whole. And Ange said, yeah, I've done it at the national team. I've done it in Brisbane, Melbourne, Yokohama and Celtic. And what he says is, what you've got to do is you've got to find out about the soul of the club, the soul of the club. That's the phrase he used, the soul. He said it's different. It's different, very different in different places, different countries, different clubs. Every club has its own thing that makes it tick. And once you understand what that is, which includes doing a bit of research on the job. So mark my words, he knows about the double winning team. He knows about us winning the Cup Winners' Cup in '63. He knows all that shit. He knows it all. And he'll know about Bill Nicholson, Danny Blanchfield. Easy. He's already learned everyone's names at White Hart Lane. This is chicken feed for him. He loves learning this stuff. It's not a chore for him. Football is his bloody life, man. Once you find out the soul, then you can connect with the fans. And I think that is what is going to make this such a special experience for us as Spurs fans while he's at Tottenham. You know, he won't be here forever, like he says, but I think we're going to have really good fun times. You know, all the people whinging we ain't had a trophy, I don't give a shit. I just think we're going to have a ball. I think we're going to have some really good fun football. I think we're going to feel like a proper club again. Doesn't matter what clowns are owning it. It's not their club anyway. It's our bloody club. And Ange said, you've got to do this because the most important people at any club are the fans. How about that, man? How about that? It's always the fans. I love it when a manager says that. And I love it when Ange Postecoglou says it. It's fantastic, man. So if you haven't seen that Optus interview yet, go check it out. It's a good, it is Australia focused because it's more about, will Australian soccer take the opportunity of Ange being in England, and we're also hosting the Women's World Cup here, which starts soon. And we've also, qualified for the World Cup regularly. It's more from that point of view, but there is a bit of Spurs in there. And he's sitting there in a Spurs thing. He was also asked about, the press are going to give you a hard time about Harry Kane, which they are. And he says, mate, I'm not worried about it. That's what he said. I'm not worried about it. And then he said, look, I'm very conscious that I'm representing the club. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about all that stuff. Good on him. Good on him. So let's have a quick look and see who's around here. Oh, we've got some comments. Hooray! Thank you, folks. I might take the opportunity to as usual, get a bit more comfy. Bit more comfy. I've done my little diatribe. Oh, hang on. There we go. It's about it, isn't it? There we go. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Phew. All right, who we got in now? Sorry, Yasarian was in bang on time as usual. G'day, Yasarian. Checked out the Optus Sport just before I saw your comment, so that was pretty cool. Didn't get caught out on that one. Lucky I bumped into it. It'd only been published like a couple of hours ago. There's only about 1,000 views on it so far. And there's me. Oh, what a good-looking man. Just watched it, man. Yeah, no worries. Kim62, g'day, man. Morning, Kim. Just caught up with the press conference from Ange and your vids on sunny holiday in Algarve. Oh, nice, man. I hope you're having a good time. I said he gives me the same vibes as our greatest manager, Bill Nicholson, and this proves it. Well, you would know. You would know, man. Yeah, that's all right, man. It's easy for me, some clown on a couch, to say it. But when you say it, it actually means something, man, which is really great. And because he's got a football brain. That's what it comes down to, man. He's got a football brain. Football's in his blood. And I've said it a few times, but the way Australian sport is, to get where he has to do, where he's been, he's got to have absolutely had this in his heart and soul, man. And something interesting he said, I think it was in the embargoed section, was that to get to the stage of managing Tottenham Hotspur, he had to have an absolutely flawless career up to that point. One stuff up and he would be back in Australia. So, and that's what he's done. So that's why he's so sure in what he does. But I'm glad you're saying that, man. That makes me excited. It makes me very excited. I did see one comment on one of my videos. Oh, if this all goes wrong, how are you gonna deal with all the egg on your face? I don't care, is the answer. hypotheticals. Lemmy, g'day. Ange is going to extend his British cult into London. That's right, man. It's going to span. Well, I suppose he might have to manage Swansea next or something to get Wales covered. Then at least he's got Great Britain done. DJ Samuel, Levy wants £120 million for Kane. I think he's in effect saying Kane's not for sale. I'm happy with that. Ange made it pretty clear that he wants to work with Harry. So doesn't matter. If Harry's there for the year, he's there for the year. I don't care what happens at the end of that. But Ange will get him on the training ground because he said Harry wants to be successful too. He wants to win stuff with Tottenham. So, why not give it one more go, Harry? Give it one more go, mate. So bugger it. I don't care. Don't sell him. Don't sell him. You're sorry, and perhaps perhaps just screen some trees into the background of your indoor streams. Hey, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. There's not one there, is there? Let's have a see if it is. Might be able to put. Where is it? Where's the backgrounds then? Oh, I've got to fart about. But it's a good point. It's a good point. I do like having the old White Hart Lane, but maybe I can cheat and put some trees. It's green though, isn't it? That'll do. I don't want to cheat a computer, but I might think about that. Catch 22 Gaming. G'day, man. How you going? Excuse me. I've got a bit of Ange Postecoglou-itis. He does that. Just want to say, enjoying the streams you've been doing. Thanks, man. Tough times at the moment, and your discussions when I can tune in help relax. Well, that's why we're all here, isn't it? That's why I'm here, mate. It's because I'm having tough times, and just as I'm glad to see you're getting something out of it. I'm getting a lot out of it too, man. So thank you. Mark Satoshi, what really got me excited was how Ange made it a prime focus. It's the challenge. It's the challenge that drives him. It's his passion is second to none. You can see him radiate that when he talks about it. That's what you're right, man. That's what he absolutely loves. Hey, Side Answer 83. G'day. So let me just have a look at the click that one. Let me just have a look at I've got the transcript of the embargoed thing here. Let's just see. So I need a faultless journey. He says, all I know is I love winning. I don't do any job unless I think I can win. How about that? That's going to be my intent. I've been fortunate in the past because I've had success, but whenever I reflect on any job I've had, it's not on the success that I look back on. It's the build that I look back on, because I know it's not always going to be smooth. There's going to be plenty of doubters, which is when your belief and resolve gets doubted. Not just for me personally, but the whole club, the whole group. And I love working through that, getting out on the other side. Well, he's picked the right bloody club, hasn't he? That's the biggest attraction for me in this position, aside from being a massive football club and the premier competition in the world. The opportunity to do something that people will see in many respects as insurmountable. I love that. Now, I'll just recap on I'll just get his words right about let me see. Let me see here. And he said, even if I stayed at a club for 5 years, I'd never be satisfied with where we're at. I would be looking to improve all the time. You're never done, are you? The key factor was there was an opportunity here to again make an impact at a football club, which I've tried to do at every club. And then asked to recall memories of Spurs teams. There we go. This made me so happy, man, because it's so good. It's so good to hear a manager talk about our past and what sort of club we are. So when he's talking about looking into the soul of the club, this is who we are. We're not this bag of boring old crap we've seen for the last 4 years, or these, can't quite get there that we've been there for the last 30 years. We are a successful football team. That's what he's finding. That's what he's seeing, and that's what he's going to try and make us. It's like other football managers. All they do is talk about the last 30 or 20 years of crap, whereas he straight away said, "I remember Ricky Villa and Ozzy Ardiles. Absolutely, I remember." And this way he said it. He said, "I remember that FA Cup final. Hi." They were my best childhood memories. I've said it before because it was me and my dad at 2 a.m. That's me as a young boy sitting on a couch watching a game of football. Glenn Hoddle, an absolute master, and those kinds of players resonate round the world. There are plenty of teams and Tottenham players through that era that I have strong memories from in my childhood. And isn't that what maketh the man, so to speak? That's what maketh the man. If these things are imprinted on a little tiny little Ange Postecoglou, he's got Ricky Villa in his head. Still Ricky Villa. That's what he's saying. So he knows what we are. He knows what we are. Conte, Mourinho, they didn't, great managers and all that, but they didn't know what Tottenham is. They don't know us. Ange is getting to know us. That's so important. I dare say that was probably part of the one is people seems to be the right fit for this club in terms of the fans' expectations. We call it entertainment, but also win games of football, score goals, be exciting. They don't want to see their team sit back. All of this crap. I just want a trophy. I just want a trophy. No, we want to go and have a go. That's what we want to go have a go. And if you do that consistently and right enough, then all the trophies are a consequence of playing football in the right way that fits the club, the Tottenham way. It's the only way you're going to do it at Tottenham. There are different ways of winning, but the intent for us will be to try and make sure this football club's a compelling watch for everyone. How about that? How about that? I don't know why I've got the Optus thing there. I forgot to take it off. Hang on. Here we go. Just take this off. There we go. God, for us. All right. How about you lot? Are you all excited? Because this is like the Australian crowd coming in, or people are getting up in the morning in England. It's like in the morning I speak to England, and in the evening I speak to Australia. I don't know, but it's kind of cool. Or holiday makers in the Algarve even. Does this excite you as much as me? I hope so, because it's a good way to feel. It's a great way to feel. Let's have a look here. Oh, hang on, so, by the way, if my PC shits itself, got my hammer ready, but I've got a plan B because I'm on StreamYard tonight. I'm just going to do a flicker over onto the phone. If it all goes blank, don't run away, do what you want really, but I will be going almost immediately onto my phone. Excuse me. Edward, why of Oz? Ange's manager and therapist. He's made, yeah, I know, man. All those thoughts. Oh, why aren't we getting defenders? Blah 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 blah. We've got to get rid of this player and get rid of that player. Ange just said in his press conferences, some players are going to come, some are going to go. All right, man, you've got it up. You. That's it. Then what am I? Who am I to just bloody whinge and moan and get worried and all that? We've got a safe pair of hands on the wheel, the ship's wheel, that is. Adrian Parker, I liked it when Ange said in the latest interview, when asked about dropping a player, Ange said, "It's what I do, not a problem, never is." That's right, man. There's loads of things he drops in. There's loads of things he drops into these things. Like I loved it when he said, all the players are training hard. They've got no choice. It's not. It's not stern or arrogant or boastful. It's just that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And in the Optus interview, he's talking about the first game at Brentford. The guy asked him, how long is it for you to be ready? And he said, look, it's the Premier League. You've got to be ready at the start. You don't get 5 games to get ready in the Premier League. You've got to be ready to go. So, maybe maybe we're going to come out the blocks running. I mean, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? At the moment, what I loved about that first press conference is giving the press a couple of early whacks. Yes, man. Yes, man. Let them know who's boss. And do it with humour. Do it with humour. There will come a time where you'll see him put them back in their box with no humour, in no uncertain terms. And, he does it. He does it. He does it really well. It's great. Adrian says he is fearless, Paul. I liked him. Now I can't wait to see his team gel. It's going to be something great to see. Well, we're going to see the start of it. The genesis of that next week. What's today? Tuesday. 1 week away. 1 week away. We're going to see them play Stratford FC in Perth, which is going to be very exciting, man. Very exciting. Adrian also says we are past the Chelsea players trying to damage us managers. We're past the Chelsea trying to damage us managers. We are past the Chelsea trying to damage our manager. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, man. Don't worry about it. It's me, it's not you. DJ Samuel. Be amazing if we win something next season. It will be amazing, but like Ange says, he's got to get it right on the training pitch. And what I loved as well, he said, as well as training and all that, he said it's the players' behaviour. That's so important, man. Setting the tone. So this is something I believe Bill Nicholson was very strong on. Steve Perryman tells this story about Bill Nicholson set the tone without having to say too much. And because Steve Perryman had to come over from West London to Tottenham when he was young to go to training, there's one day there was a bugger up there's some sort of crap on the North Circular, which there always is. I remember the North Circular, what a rubbish road that was. And so he arrived about half an hour late, and he came into the dressing room trying to look at the floor, averting Bill Nicholson's gaze and the player's gaze. And I've forgotten which player he said it was, but he said, "Hey, Steve, what's that? Was there something on the floor?" And he looked up and he caught Bill's eye, and Bill said to him, "Steve, what time we finished training yesterday?" "Oh, 3:30. Okay. So have you got not enough time to get back here on time the next morning?" "Oh, yeah. Just simple things, setting the tone." That's what I believe Ange is talking about by player behaviour. The principle and the principles of the football club aren't just that we play exciting football. That's good. There's, like Ange said, a lot of teams want to do that, but you have to have something underpinning that, something else, something more important, and that's the values and tone that the manager sets. Kim62, the comment when talking about his time at Celtic, saying about the challenge there, coming second is not winning. There you go, man. So yes, it was a challenge. Love it, love it. Coming second is a failure. He's a winner. See, I thought that was a really smart comment, man. He was preempting. It's just Scotland. Well, okay, but there are only 2 teams, but you have to come. You have to come first. That's it. Giovanni Bronckhorst didn't last long as Rangers manager, did he? And they got this like Michael Beale clown in at the moment. If he doesn't do it this year, he's gone. Is he gone already? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's gone already. I'm not following that at the moment. And just back onto Celtic, I really like what he said especially in the. I don't know why they do this embargo section. I kind of understand it when the season's on and it's a pre-match press conference and you leave a little bit or something. I don't know, but when there's like nothing happening, I don't get why there was an embargoed section. I don't understand it. But when he was talking about Celtic, he was proud of it, and he was talking about how he's proud of every job he's had. He spoke very fondly of his previous jobs and Celtic, and he said that Brendan Rodgers is absolutely the right man for the job. when Ange was Celtic manager. Brendan was in contact with him, congratulating him, a bit of advice here and there. And I mean, that's really good to see, isn't it? So, hopefully Celtic will be all right, because I've got a soft spot for Celtic. But, it's not every manager that talks fondly about their previous clubs, do they? I mean, it just strikes me that Ange is a man that's just going to bulldoze his way through this club. He's going to find out the best way to do that. And, when it comes to the Muppets that own the club, I don't think they're not going to have a choice, really. With him, they're just going to be bewildered under his spell. They'll have to do what he says. They've got no choice. Keith Edwards, keep up the good work. A true Spurs supporter. There we go. Yes. Where is it? Where is it? I can't see it under my beard. There it is. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We're all true supporters, man. There's no pecking order. So Hotspur Hippie, where is it? Hotspur Hippie. Everyone's the same, man. We're all big fans. You're Sarian. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bob. Was that Talladega Nights, was it? Was it? I think it was, wasn't it? Here we go. Hey, Ben. Nice to see you, man. Okay, not excited. Okay, Ben's holding out a bit. Okay, that's fair enough, Ben. Not excited until them suits and pencil pushers, those cat kickers, and those cigar putter outers on like lizards, and sitting there in their big leather couches. I mean, you're not saying that, but I'm just adding that on, because that's what they bloody are. Give Big Ange 2 centre backs. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I was like that a couple of days ago, but I've just been mesmerised, man. I've just been like uplifted. So I'm kind of not worrying about that at the moment. I probably will start worrying about it before long, but at the moment I'm just basking in a bit of Ange Postecoglou goodness. Mark Satoshi, I'm so excited for what Ange brings to the club. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Cy Dancer, my wife that watches Spurs with me, if it's on, she said he was easy to listen to. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Doesn't really seem to get flustered. Doesn't talk in rhymes and riddles and conundrums like we have other managers have had, where not just the language difference. I'm not talking about the language difference, but just riddles and rhymes. And what the fuck's that mean? Is he trying to be some sort of fucking philosopher? Sorry, potential advertisers. Whoops. Like trying to sound all, I don't know, like there's more layers and substance there. It's like, I don't know, how do I describe it? I don't know, like they're writing beat poetry or something instead of being just a football manager. And I don't think that, footballers like it simple. If you hear footballers talk, and whenever I've talked about this subject of a football brain, I'm not in any way saying that these people are dumb or stupid. They're super smart, man, super smart, focused on football, very, very intelligent. Simple direction, a few words to get it across. If you're all, light bulbing it up, then it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. Okay. Let's take two. Take two. Cue Adrian. Hang on. I'll have a drink first. Right. Adrian says, Paul, we are past Chelsea managers damaging us. Okay. Gotcha. Shouldn't have had the gin and tonic type drink. And then the next one. Well, why stop at 2? 3 is always a nice place to be. Yeah, it's about time they had one of our managers to screw them up, because Poch ain't doing any good there. Oh no, you're right, man. She's not fully Spurs, but so she was easy to listen to. I got what you were saying there. I got what you were saying. Oh, hang on, a moment of respect is called for. Hang on, got to put my hat on just so I can take it off in the presence of royalty. Queen Ellie of North London. Ange is a G in his presser mentioning. Man, how do you do it, man? How do you do it? Like, you can get down with the kids, and without being disrespectful, I think you've got one or two seasons on me, but you can get right down with the kids and talk their lingo, and I don't understand it. But okay, Angie is a G in the presser, mentioning our FA Cup victories. I told you, I bloody told you, I don't know if it was on Irish Hotspur or it was on one of my videos, or it might have been one of Dermot's. I said he was going to mention it in his first press conference, and he did. Oh, Ange, what a man. I mean, I'm not predicting things here, but, I wanted Ange as our manager. I got that. I wanted him to mention 1981 in his first press conference. I got that as well. So the next thing I want is some good football. That'll do for now. I keep my predictions one at a time. Good football. That'll do. Yes, Ange, he is the man for the job, and he will make us great again. It's good to hear people saying this. Good to hear people saying this, especially good old Tottenham Ducks like you, Ellie. When you're excited, everyone should be excited, man. Carl Simpson. Oh, Paul, I hope you're doing right. Now, what I'll do is, at this point, I'll just stick the link in here if anyone wants to come on and have a chat. I'll stick the link. If you want to come on and have a chat, you're more than welcome. Whether you're excited or maybe you're not excited, the Hotspur Hippie is a place for all, as long as you're not a dick. And I haven't seen any really dicks here anyway, so it's all cool. So, if you want to click on the link and come on and say hello and have a chat, it'd be good fun. Carl Simpson. Morning, Paul. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, I am, man. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, Mark Satoshi. Someone else who carried an air about him was Gus Hiddink. Yes, man. You remember that guy? Are you going to say, okay, you're not. Okay. Gus Hiddink, he came to manage the Socceroos in 2005. It rubbed off on all the players, and Australia performed the best in the World Cup during those days. Yeah. It was incredible. I remember when the players and Hus were boarding the plane, and the press gallery, the Australian hacks. I don't know what they over here. No, they're in Surrey Hills, in like Holt Street, Kippax Street, somewhere like that. Kippax Street, Flatheads. They said, "Well, how far are Australia going to get in the World Cup?" And he said, "You want me to say it, don't you?" And they said, "What?" He said, "Okay, we're going to win the World Cup." And everyone, "Way!" We knew it was all bollocks, but we didn't care because it just felt good. You're right, man. Gus Hiddink was fantastic when he came over, wasn't he? At the moment, people got to remember, Ange could not get a job after the fiasco. That's right, of the Junior Socceroos, years where he had sweet FA to work with and was scapegoated by Foz. Ever since, has not put a foot wrong. Yeah, and what you're talking about there, that was the first time I saw Ange. I saw that live on TV, and I couldn't believe the way Craig Fozzie Foster was having a go at the guy. I mean, Les Murray was a bit more mild, but Les Murray's brilliant anyway. God rest his soul. But yeah, so the story was in the Australian youth. They no preparation. The very little. Even though football is I'll say soccer because I'm talking about Australia at the moment. It's one of the most widely participated in sports at a youth level. The actual setup and getting teams through and getting them playing competitive games at that time was very, very poor, and it led to us having not so good results. And Ange at that time was our youth coach. Let me just consult my notes here. Between 2000 and 2007, he coached the under-17s and under-20s, and it didn't end so well. And they really tried to say it was all Ange's fault, and it really wasn't. And you're right. After that, he couldn't get a job in Australia. This is something he did mention in the Optus Sport interview as well. He couldn't get a job because there's such limited opportunity in Australia. And I don't care what people say. There is a bit of a sneer at football in this country by the posh ruling classes out in Vaucluse and all that. They're all like rugby union and things like that out there. Football is just for the the migrants. They call them horrible words. word that if I told you what it was, you think, what? People, they call them that? Because one of those words you can't say in England, and you shouldn't be able to say it here, but they still do. It's disgusting. So he had to go to, I think he managed in a lower division Greek team for a bit, maybe a New Zealand team before Brisbane Roar gave him an opportunity. I mean, how ridiculous is this? So he's won, I think he won 2 titles as a player with South Melbourne, 2 as a manager, managed the youth team for 7 years, and then the whole football establishment in the entire country shunned him for, let me just consult my extensive notes. Two years. I did this for an interview when not an interview, when I was on Ben and Sims. I just wanted to get my notes in line. Brisbane, 36 games without loss. Managed Australia 13 to 17. Yokohama 18 to 21. Celtic 21 to 23. Tottenham Hotspur. That's where he wants to come and stay, man. This is, there was something he said, I wouldn't have got here. It sounded like more of a final destination. I'm not, but he knows it's a big one. What's bigger than Tottenham? I mean, you'd be looking at like Real Madrid. Maybe that's where he wants to end up. He was coached by Puskás, after all, But while we've got him, I'm going to bloody enjoy him. I'm going to bloody enjoy every moment of it. But yeah, football in Australia and at the moment, crap administration, and now, sadly, since Les Murray and Johnny Warren, who are 2 brilliant football presenters, they're both passed on now. God rest their souls, and now, no, it's all gone again. Now, no one gives a shit about football in this country, really. Maybe the Women's World Cup will change some of that with a bit of luck. All right, Adrian Parker, those centre backs are coming. Then you'll want a number 6 and another number 9. I don't know. I'm just gonna whatever Ange wants. It looks like we're gonna get one of these defenders over the line imminently, and for me, that makes it a good window. We've got Vicario, Madison, Solomon, and a defender. I'm quite content with that. Because we still have to get players out the door. It's a long old process. It wasn't done in a day. Chem 62. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't realize. Sorry, Mark. Hello. Are you ready? So, Mark, I'm so sorry. How long?
Hi.
I didn't. Have you been there long?
Yeah, me and the cat.
I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. I hope I didn't keep you.
That's okay.
So how are you feeling? You feeling upbeat?
I'm getting feedback.
Let me just check my settings. I've got echo cancellation on. Should be okay. Have you got echo cancel? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
It is from your side, but probably not from mine.
Oh, let me just see how it sounds online. Hang on. Technology, eh? Bear with me. Let's see if it's sounding feedback, because I can't hear any feedback, so I'm just going to listen to my phone and see if I can hear any here. Bear with me. Let's see if it's sounding feedback, because I think the stream sounds okay.
Okay.
We'll have a go anyway. We'll try and plod on and see how we go, Mark. But so how are you feeling? You're excited about what's happening at Spurs, are you?
Yeah, of course I am. One of the things I wanted to let everyone know when I first came to Melbourne, I was living in Middle Park, across the road from the South Melbourne Hells which is where the ground was that Ange was actually coaching. And I used to go to South Melbourne Tech, and he used to go to Paran Tech. And I'm a few years older than him, but I understood the mentality of what was happening. And we used to, like, I came from Brisbane, and there was different types. There was basically white Australian, and then there was, say, Scottish, English, and we would all play Aussie rules. And then you had Greeks and Italians who would all play soccer, and
Yeah.
we called it walkball. And it was very much like that. And Ange grew up in that kind of atmosphere, and it was a very, very, at that time, it was quite a rough time, a rough place. So was Paran, and so I got to really understand where he was coming from, and I really resonate with um, watching the journey all the way through. And I remember when he had that argument on SBS with Fozzie,
Me
and
too, man. It was horrible, eh?
yeah, that
Shocking.
was absolutely incredible. And I was really, to be honest, I was annoyed at Craig Foster, but I noticed later on, years later, um, talk about humble pie, Craig interviewed Ange, and it was a totally different demeanour, and it was really
Yeah.
good. You could see the eye contact between both of them, and the actual eye contact with Ange. It was like, we've got an understanding here, haven't we, Craig? And he didn't have to say any words. You could tell.
No,
Really amazing to watch.
because
Yeah,
it's funny in that interview. Just Ange kept on saying, "Well, instead of you sitting here in your office, Fozzie, why don't you come down to the training pitch and see what we're doing here?" And he's like, "I don't need to, Ange. I don't need to." So yeah, he put him in his place
yeah,
by doing this. So you were around in his South Melbourne days. Did you watch them
yeah,
play or?
yeah. I lived
Yes,
in
and there were,
I lived in Middle Park, and I used to go to South Melbourne Tech, and South Melbourne Tech is no more South Melbourne Tech. I'm not sure what it is now. It's, yeah, totally changed.
and was it exciting to watch back then? Was it something that was there a good special feeling about it, or just
Well,
another game
my
of
my
football?
my older brother took me to a soccer game because I used to watch the FA Cup as a little boy, even living in Brisbane when I was about 6 or 7, and that was so special. And it was on black and white TV, believe it or not, black and white
Yeah,
TV. And I'd get up ridiculous times, 3 in the morning. It was such a special time that you know. So when the SBS no longer did the broadcast, and the ABC weren't doing the broadcast, I was so disappointed. And now Optus has it, and it's sort of. But my one of my sons, he loves he loves he loves soccer. He loves the European League. He loves Premier League. He's played he's played soccer as a little kid. Now he's like he's going to see the Matildas play. He's seeing about 4 games, so he's all excited and everything. And I said, "No, I'll sit in the I'll sit from the living room watching it on TV, and also of course, following Spurs." So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, I'm really excited. And what probably excites me most of all is it's opened the door for so many people to really push hard to support Ange from Australia. And I know, just as we've seen, it's like the Ange train. The Ange train will drive the Spurs train, and
That's it,
we'll
man.
see a culture shock. And I can actually visualise a change of culture within Spurs, no matter how toxic it's ever been. I've seen the same in an AFL team being Collingwood for years and years and years, and they went through a toxic period, you know. So
Yeah,
those things will really change, you know. Over you know, I think he's really setting a high bar, and you know, so and I'm fully confident that he will use and get the best possible measurement out of every player,
yeah.
guaranteed.
And I think there's something our last couple of managers didn't really do. They didn't really improve players much, whereas Ange did. Like that you know, that when we won the Asian Cup in 2015, that Australian soccer team was past. You know, it was past our golden age. You know, those players, without any disrespect, they in many ways they had no right to win that. But under Ange and Miller Jedinak as their captain, they just knocked everyone's socks off the way they played. It was incredible. So Ange is one of those managers that can really make players get, you know, he brings something out of their heart or soul or whatever and just makes them play football better.
Yeah, he he's so passionate about the game, and that you don't you. It's very rare to see that passion
Yeah,
amongst the coach. It's all
yeah.
about the dollars, and
It's about
that's
dollars. It's
where
being a slick PR person, you know. You know what I said, like Ange is very, very straightforward. You get some managers,
yeah.
they talk in riddles and rhymes and stuff, and you don't get any of that with Ange. You'll just get straight down the barrels, just the truth.
He's bringing back the old culture of what soccer, what Premier League represents, and what it represented to him, and the same with what he was brought up with as a young child, and
Yeah,
you know, I can see that will really gain momentum over, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, I was excited because I moved to Australia in '95, so I was all right for football. But I know friends my age, they tell me the same thing. You know, years ago, you basically get the FA Cup. That was the one big game a year. And if you were a soccer fan, and you usually weren't from, you know, Skippy land, if you weren't like Aussie, then you'd be up at 3 o'clock
Yeah,
in the morning, and it was like a big deal. So that's why I thought, you know, well, if Ange was doing that, he would have seen one of our best teams
yeah,
in living memory for me anyway in 1981 lifting the FA Cup, and that would be stuck in his head as a child. And now he's bringing that back
yeah.
to us, so he understands what Tottenham's about.
It's not. It's funny when you're passionate about something, you you don't forget those moments, and there's special moments in history, and he hasn't forgotten that.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting times. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday, that's for sure. Seeing, you know, just seeing the start of this gel together when we play West Ham in Perth. It's going to be fun, and we can watch it on free-to-air TVs, which is nice.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope I can watch it on Channel 10 or be
Yeah,
good.
it's on Channel 10. Yeah. All right, Mike. Is there anything else you wanna say before I let you go?
Yep. Okay. No, look, fantastic. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
See you
Thanks for
later.
watching.
Oops.
Okay, cheers, Mark. Bye bye.
Okay. See ya.
There's the cat's tail. Ah, brilliant, man. Brilliant, man. All right, let's get back to some comments. Thanks very much, Mark, coming on. See, there you go. There's a bit of an insight into the way you know, Australia regards soccer, and you know, what a you know, a bit of a tough pressure cooker it is for someone who wants to play that game, particularly back in the you know, in the late 80s when Ange was playing. So fantastic, man. All right, let's get back to the comments here. Matthew, everyone thinks Ange is shit. Oh, I want to eat these people after next season. Yeah, I had a comment on one of my videos. Oh, when it all goes wrong, how are you going to get all that egg off your face? It's like, man, okay, whatever. He said, I will not stay for stay 10 some years, but all years I want the fans to enjoy and be proud. That's right, man. That's right, man. Oops. At the moment, those junior years was a joke. Yeah, no method or consistency in the training and coaching of young players. Skill levels wildly inconsistent. Excuse me. Hardly any games played at competition level. Poor attitude in players. Yeah, I mean, what can you do with all that? What can you do? And he tried to do it his way, you know, and they just hung him out to dry. Didn't listen to what he said. And you know, also when he managed the senior Australia team, Australia soccer didn't do what Ange suggested, and so he buggered off before a World Cup. You know. Oh, sorry, a bit of headache. Ow. Adrian Parker. I hope he wins his trophies and the FA don't steal him when successful. Not if. Oh, you reckon what, England manager? Oh, I don't know if he'd be up for that. I reckon maybe Greek national coach could be one, you know, but we'll get a bit of time out of him. Ah, well, I hope you heard Mark all right. I could. It seemed to be all right here. Jose, buenos dias. Buenos dias, Pablo Campeón. Buenos dias, Jose Compañero. Are you excited about Ange, Jose? I am. At the moment, games at Middle Park used to get 12,000 consistently when the team was up, and which was involved in all South Melbourne's success as a player, captain, and coach. Yeah, and Ferenc Puskás coached there. Yeah, Ange was involved in all 4 of their championships. And like I say, I got to Australia in '95, and I didn't go to an awful lot of soccer, but I found the NLS much more entertaining than the A-League. I thought it was a better competition. I know, and really they just wanted to, I'll use the term, they just wanted to whitewash it. And, you know, I don't think it really set the game going forward. I think it set it going backwards, because it is still more of an ethnic migrant-based sport. You know, sometimes it breaks out a little bit. Like I say, maybe the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, will help it break out into the wider Anglo sphere of Australia. But you know, I don't know. Backstory is great. Yeah. Brilliant, brilliant. It's nice to hear someone coming who's actually there. You know, seeing South Melbourne when Ange was there. It's brilliant, brilliant. Mark can come on anytime he likes. That was interesting. Liam says there's something special about Ange. Well, I'll put the link back in. You know, now that Mark has broken the seal, if someone else wants to just come on, that's all cool. Liam, for sure there's something special about Ange, a breath of fresh air. I hope it all works out. You can tell football is just natural for him. He knows it inside out. Oh, because he's got a football brain, whereas I've got a, oh, don't know what's going on there. If I Google it, it'll tell me I've got a brain tumor, no doubt. He's got a football brain, man, and it is in his heart as well. It's wonderful. Edward Y. of Oz. I'm happy for Ange. I remember soccer used to have a grubby reputation with hooliganism, ethnic tensions. Racism was rife when the game was. Yeah, I'm just going to let Australians know that and I get it that, and I know you're using it in that context as well. I'm not saying you're doing the wrong thing, but I just be mindful that that word, that W word, in England is like saying the N word in America. It's in England, it's used, and I know Australians don't know this so much, but in England, if you that is one of the worst things you could call someone from, say, India or Pakistan or Jamaica, somewhere like that. And it's just one of those words that no one ever says unless you're a real, you don't even say it in England. You wouldn't even say it in context. But I get it's slightly different over here, especially what we're talking about soccer. And it's a word I've got my friends are I've got no like Anglo friends. My friends are like from Greece, Croatia, Bosnia, and they use that word within themselves and joking about it, but I still don't even say it. I just don't say that word. But just so you're aware, if you do use that word, I probably won't bring it up on screen because it is really super hyper offensive to some people over in the UK. So but you're right. That's what it was called over here. Oh, hang on, we got Jose. I'll just get a couple of comments up to date, Jose, and I'll be with you. Hooliganism was overhyped. I absolutely agree. It's basically the collapse and breakup of Yugoslavia. That's right. And people showing their ethnic pride at games. Apart from that, there were a few Aussie clubs. That's right. It was overhyped. I went to a few games, St George Budapest, and there was tension, but it was passion more than anything. I agree with you entirely. You're sorry, I always hated that team. I played and loved the game myself, and don't come from a migrant background myself. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Well, no, you certainly don't come from a migrant background, man. It is a horrible phrase, and I think there's just such hate embedded in that word, even though it's kind of milder here than in England. It's a word that I hear a lot, looking like me, because some of these people think that I'm going to be up for some of those conversations. Like when I'm driving my Uber, people start using that word, and I find it incredibly offensive. Don't like it at all. Adrian Parker, don't overexcite us. It sounds like it's a full journey to promised land. Oh, well, why not enjoy the dream, man? So true, Paul. Whitewashing the sport, cutting it off from its roots. Absolutely, man. That's probably why I was getting so much feedback. Oh, your volume too loud. No, don't worry about it, Mark. We're all doing the best we can. All right, you ready, Jose? You coming on? Thumbs up, are you? Thumbs up from Jose. Is he there? I'll just put him on and see if he's ready. Hello, Jose. How you going, man?
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Oh wow, you're sounding sultry this morning. How are you?
I'm
Oh, you
I'm
know
on.
what it is, man? It's because when I was talking to you before on streams, I was at my mate's place on just this crappy laptop. I mean, not crappy, but it's an old laptop. Whereas now I'm looking at the screen, you're coming through my like home theater system. It's like, oh, Jose's voice sounds pretty good. So, how you going, man?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I'm off for 2 weeks, so I'm kind of relaxing.
And have you caught up on all the press conferences, and have you seen all the sections? And what was your feeling about it, man?
Well, with Ange, he came across absolutely brilliant. He couldn't have started better. Couldn't have started better. Um,
Perfect, eh?
I think he was bang on point, and although these guys are all media trained, you felt that his presser, a lot of it came from the heart, and he was just being himself. Um,
Yep.
and he's not he wasn't guarded and guided and stuff like that, and it was just a pleasure to see. um Although I am a fan of his and I think that he's going to do fantastic things with us, he couldn't have had a better start, could he, really? For the rest of
Yeah.
the fan base, couldn't have had a better start.
Just the icing on the cake when he talked about the 1981 Cup final and Ozzy and Ricky, that just blew my mind, man. That to hear a manager kind of talk with great fondness about one of our great achievements is pretty cool because we haven't had that in a long time. It's always been about the manager and not the club and not the team. And I think we've got a guy in that recognises what football's all about, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I enjoyed everything he said, and there's only the one little thing I didn't like was when he said about the people being on the plane for the tour, that he wants most of the squad to be there. And I thought to myself, okay, because in years gone by, we'd leave players behind who we wanted them to find other clubs. But from what he said in the presser yesterday, there was only two players definitely not on the plane, and that was Fraser Foster and Rodrigo Bentancur. But that everybody else had the opportunity to get on the plane for the tour. So are we stuck? It's not going to be his fault, but are we going to be stuck with some dead wood for a bit longer than what I wanted?
Maybe so. We might be. Maybe he just wants a better look at them. I mean, and leaving players behind. We didn't win anything when we were doing that. So maybe just try something stupid and different. I don't know, man. I think Ange has probably made his mind up on a lot of them, but he wants to see them in a bit of action. I heard that Tottenham are playing a behind closed doors friendly against Cambridge United in the next couple of days. So it was
before
originally
they go away.
Yeah. So it was I just saw this on Twitter, so I don't know his bollocks, but originally it was going to be an under 21 game, but Ange changed it because he wanted to get a full match in before we left on the plane. So maybe there's room to change on that. Maybe a couple of players will have injuries or whatever. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Have you caught up with all your Twitter and everything? What's the time over there at the moment?
It's 6:20 in the evening.
Oh, okay. So you've caught up with Twitter and everything?
Well, I think so. Look, I haven't seen anything, that's changed, regarding incomings and outgoings. I've just been really looking at, after I did my stream this morning, I did a couple of videos and I looked at the rest of what Ange had to say, and just seeing how people are reacting to it, and it's generally pretty positive. Nearly everywhere it's positive, which is that's what I was hoping, really, and that's what I thought. That's what I was saying it for a while, that Ange will win a hell of a lot of people over from his first press conference, and I think you're right, man. I think you could see when he was answering questions, he'd sort of pause for a moment just to get the. I think it was more of a, and I might be reading too much into this, but the way he was pausing it is more, okay, he felt a certain way because he's talked about going with his gut a lot before, and he just wanted to put that into words. And I think you're right. There's no media polish there at all. But he is very. Did you see the interview he did on Optus Sport a few hours ago?
No, all I saw before I went to bed, because it's 9:19 here in the morning, but before I went to bed last night, I think I went to bed about 2 o'clock. But what I did is I watched the whole press conference, and then I watched the first part of the embargoed section.
Yep.
So there's two parts to the embargo section. Another part's being released this morning apparently, but it's not been released it's not been released as yet. But they had an embargoed section which was released after 10:30 last night, and then they've got another one that's being released today. So I've caught up with all that, and I'm looking to see what the second part of the embargoed section says as well. But I think it's going to be pretty much the same, of Ange being truthful and being honest in everything that he says. So
do you know why do they do this embargo stuff? Do you know? I mean, I kind of get it when they do it.
Local, yeah. So what they do is when they do the press conference, all the local journos get first dibs, so they get to answer the questions like your Sky Sports and stuff like that, and the local journalists, Alistair Gold, people like that, get to ask the questions, and that's the main part of the presser. Then they go to the embargo section. The embargo section is for the newspapers, so the big tabloid newspapers, to ask questions, and they embargo it till 10:30 in the evening, because if they want to use any of that content, they use it in their first editions. And normally first editions get printed at 10:30 in the evening, so therefore the embargo section is then released then thereafter. But they did two I've never heard of it, but they've done 2 embargo sections. One was last night, and one's going to be for today.
Huh. Well, I just got a bit of a smile on my face because I just had a retweet and a reply from Steve Archibald on one of my tweets, which is quite nice
Hey,
because he was one of my heroes. That guy. I said because there was someone had written something about Steve Archibald or something. I said, yeah, that guy, the blonde fast one with his shirt never tucked in. Over 40 years later, I can clearly remember being as excited as a kid watching you in a Spurs shirt. I hope we're still taking more care of you. And he said, yes, you are, mate. And you guys have always made me feel welcome and at home. He's a fucking brilliant guy, Steve Archibald. I like him because he's, he drives his own path. That guy. He's a unique individual. So I'm just wondering,
reminds you of your childhood, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. I mean, the way he used to run around, that guy, brilliant. So do you know what time the Because I wondered that because I saw when they released the embargoed, a lot of places put brackets 1. So I'm thinking, oh, there must be a second. So do you know what time they're releasing that second one?
No, I didn't catch that last night. On one of the streams, it said that there was the 2 parts to the embargo section, but I haven't got a clue. I know the second part's today. I couldn't tell you what time it is. I mean, it sounds unless you want to sell more broadsheets or whatever, then I'm hoping it's not till 10:30 tonight. I'm hoping that they're going to do one reasonably early today, but I don't know. I can't answer. I don't know.
So it could be soon, eh? That'd be nice.
Well, it could be, but then it could be tonight. I don't know. I really don't know because it didn't say
It might be
time
the same. If it's the same time as yesterday, then yeah, it'd be another 5 hours. So yeah. Oh, I might have to stay up and watch it. No, I've got to go to sleep early tonight, man. But I don't know.
Yeah, you stayed up. You stayed up till quite late yesterday, didn't you?
Late for me, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like late as in party time, but it was, I'm like as soon as the sun goes down, which has gone down now, I start getting a bit sleepy, and then I'm awake early though. But yeah, it was released out here at 11:30. Was the first time I saw the full version because there was a little version that Sky Sports did, and I thought that can't be all of it. So yeah, midnight, and then I was lying down, like kind of buzzing a bit from hearing Ange's goodness. But then the embargoed section just blew me away. I thought it was so good what he was saying about every team wants to win, but you've got to have more than that, haven't you? You've got to have more.
Yeah.
You could have based that on something, and that's what he's going to figure out and how he's going to do it at Tottenham. I'll just get through some comments here, man. Lemmy. As soon as they introduce relegation and promotion, all of the AstroTurf A-League clubs will disappear within 8 years. The old grassroots teams will devour them. I got no doubt of that, man. I know. I've spoken to a couple of coaches on those teams that are going into that second division, and I think you're right. I think they're going to be better than the. And there's so much AstroTurf over it. Breaks my heart. I'll just go through this quickly. Adrian Parker, great guest, Mark, really great. Yep, damn right it was. Thankfully, that word is history. I had a moment radio voice. Yeah, there we go. There you go, Jose. You got a radio voice now. Matthew saying 2 domestic cups would be very crucial next season. Maybe it'd be nice to win one, but I'm just going to enjoy my football. Oh, shameless plug. Show me some. Is that your Twitter? Is it?
No, that's the Hotel Cockerel channel.
Oh, is that you? Hang on, we could do better than that. Oh, hang on. No, you put the link. That's the link, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No. Go over to Jose's channel and give it a like and subscribe and see what he has to say. It's cool. It's cool. Shameless plug. Do it, man. Yeah, you got to plug your own stuff, man. You know. At the moment, he wants to see everyone interact and how the group dynamic is formed. Oh, here we go. We might have some breaking news here. 24Z's always on the breaking news.
I think this is about the bid that Galatasaray made yesterday that Romano tweeted.
Yeah, but that was what this time yesterday. That's what 24Z told me yesterday. So I'm assuming that there's something more this time. If if 24Z wants to keep his position as roving reporter, which he's doing a very good job. I can't even spell Fabrizio. There we go. What we got here? Oh, okay. Well, this is different. This is different, right? So Fabrizio Romano is saying not just Galatasaray, €9 million bid for Davinson Sanchez. Understand Tottenham have been approached by also Real Betis for Giovanni Lo Celso. Another one could be going. There are 2 to 3 clubs in the race for Lo Celso, but Betis are keen on opening talks in the next weeks. Spurs are aware of that. How about that? We might have a bidding war for Giovanni Lo Celso. Be nice to get 2 scratched off the list. Pretty sharpish, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, obviously, this is Tottenham we're talking about again, and yeah, for me, what I really would like to see, I'd like to see, because we haven't got a director of football, I would like to see us, okay, sound strong, getting rid of players. Now, if even if we got 10 million for each player, and we got rid of 8 players, that's 80 million that you're bringing in.
Yep, I'm with you, man. Don't matter.
Yeah,
5 million. I don't care
yeah,
just to get the wages free as well.
yeah. You get what you free up the wages, plus you get some money in, and then I can't understand for the life of me. We know we need a rebuild and that. I can't understand for the life of me why we cannot go for 2 or 3 centre backs. Like if you bring in the likes of Van der Ven, Tapsoba, and even Tosin, they'd probably cost you about 85 million, the 3 of them. And
Done.
so if you're selling players, you can bring them 3 in, and it improves your squad.
Yeah, and then like our defence is not going to be shit anymore. And you know, I think with that backline sorted, because when you look up the pitch, I think we're looking a little bit tasty up the pitch, especially if Kane stays. You know.
Well, but by everything Ange was saying yesterday, and the comments that he was making, it kind of lends itself that Kane is staying.
I think so. I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, no one's going to pay the money that Levy wants anyway. So I think it's something. It's a press beat up as well, more than anything. Like again, I saw a clip of Talk Sport, and there's Jason Cundy saying, "Oh, Spurs should cash in on Kane." It's like basically anyone who's not from Tottenham or a Spurs supporter is saying Spurs should sell Kane, and they're all saying that in their own interests of the clubs that they support themselves. Of course, they're going to say that. You know, I'd be saying that if I knew any players that played for any other teams, I'd be saying that they should sell this. That player's got no ambition. Blah 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 blah. It's just that there aren't many Tottenham kind of representatives in the media world, so we always it's they've got nothing else to talk about during this window at the moment apart from bloody Harry Kane. I'm fed up. It's boring. It's boring more than anything.
Yeah. Just putting down a comment. Sorry.
So look, let me. Don't worry, Ange will simmer the squad down. Reckon he'll get another midfielder in and 2 defenders. Might well do, man. He might well do. I mean, he did say we've got until the 1st of September to sort all that out, which definitely calmed me down a bit, you know, because I'm getting a little bit antsy. But you know, he's saying he wants to have a good look first. Yasarian says, "What's a newspaper?"
Yeah, when I was talking about the broadsheets. Yeah.
Paddy Hartner is from Limerick, is it? He's saying normally there's only one embargoed section and that's out now. The only reason so what's the reason you're saying it's 2, Jose? Because I've got my own reason. You reckon it's 2 sections as well?
Well, yeah. There's never normally 2 sections, Paul. But with this presser yesterday, it was announced that there'd be 2 embargo sections. I've never heard of it before. It's the first time I've ever heard this happening. But the first part was released at 10:30, which normally is the embargo section, is released at 10:30 in the evening UK time, because of the broadsheets going and first editions being printed. But they announced that this was going to be a 2-part one. Now I don't know when the second part is out, but it is out today.
Okay. So there you go, Paddy. And the reason I'm saying it is apart from because Jose heard it firsthand, but just to give you more evidence, I saw when Chris Cowlin put the embargoed section up, he had embargoed section brackets 1, which makes me think there's more to follow. So I think there's going to be more than one, which is going to be exciting because, you know, Hang on, what we got here? Oh, hang on. Oh, all right. Far out, man. All right, you've already done it, Jose. Looks like there's actually some more movement from the Deadwood. I know I'd take like $1 for some of them to get the wages off the book more than anything. But if we, like you're saying, Jose, if we can get a few million for these Muppets, I know we paid like 500 million for some of them, but bugger it, we need to cut our losses. I think that's starting to happen. Mainly about Lo Celso. Yeah. Great news. No, so what? Everyone, what's this? 55? 55? No, we're not going to give 55 for Lo Celso. No way, surely. No way. Come on, man. He should be going for over 40 million. Nah. I mean, it'd be fun, but I can't see it. No one wants Sanchez and Lo Celso to stay. Adrian says Ange looks confident. And this geezer says clubs outside the Premier League do not have funds to offer us 40 million. Yeah, I agree. Maybe Saudi Arabia, but are they really going to want to sell? So I don't know.
Yeah, so the problem. Go on.
Sorry, Optus Spurs. Optus TV just released a 52-minute full press conference. Oh, that would include the first embargoed section, because the first bit was half an hour and the first embargoed section was about 20 minutes. So that doesn't include the second part yet. Hey, it's Paddy. You're right, folks. Never seen that before. Well, it's a new time for Tottenham. It's a time for new experiences. As a Spurs fan, Paddy, it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be exciting.
The problem you've got with what I'm talking about, the 40 million bids. The problem that we've got is economically the market out there, outside of the Premier League. You're not going to put people. The clubs don't have funds. They're in dire straits. A lot of the leagues outside of the Premier League, and therefore, if they're going to splurge 40 million on a player, it has to be an A-list player that they're going after. And I'm sorry to say, we don't have A-list players that people want to pay 40 million pound for. The only money you're going to get, or the big money, is if we sell to another Premier League club. A lot of people don't like dealing with Levy. So therefore, you're left with foreign clubs coming in and offering the monies that the people offer. I think we got a great deal in Winks for 10 million through Leicester.
Brilliant.
That was a handsome deal that was done. And if we can continue getting handsome deals like that with whoever at 10 million a pop, I'll be happy and I'll take it.
Yeah. And you're right. If we get a few of them out the door, then you're looking at two central defenders, which
Free. I want free.
Oh, free. Sorry, man. Would you take Clement Longley? No. Does he count?
No. For me, you got Mickey Van der. If we're looking at the players that we're linked with, Mickey Van der Ven, let's say 25 to 30 million. I'd say 45 up to 45 million for Tapsoba, and then another 15 million for Tosin. That's 85 million. And to me, 85 million gets us the centre halves in.
Ben's reckoning we could get. He wants to get rid of Tanganga for about 5 million, trim the squad. I haven't seen much news about Tanganga going anywhere. I mean, he's good at running over people, so I don't know. I don't know if we're
I think the Italian. I think you'll have a couple of Italian clubs at least looking at Tanganga, and they would probably offer. They would probably offer. Yeah, they'll probably offer you 10 million euros, which is just over the 5 million mark.
A while ago, man, I looked at what's the average top player price or something. I can't remember what I actually looked at. Like, it was an indicator of the football market. And even from 2018, it kind of peaked at 2018 from what I can recall. And then it started going down slightly. Like, I think what you're saying, European clubs are running out of money, and then COVID happened and all that. And the Premier League's basically taking all the money out of everyone's pockets, I think, which I don't like. I think that's bad for football. I like a bit of proper competition. Oh, here we go. What we got here? We got, if we can get 25 for Lo Celso, okay, and 35 for Højbjerg. Højbjerg, I think, is a good option to get rid of as well. Get some money in the bank.
Well, if Ben's
I
right,
mean,
that's 60 million already. Without taking the 10 millions on all the other deadwoods we got, we could have a real big pot to piss in, couldn't we?
yeah. Maybe they might have a rethink about sponging an extra £2.5 million out of fans by putting the tickets up and shuffling the allocations and all that. I mean, that seemed like the most pointless exercise doing that for such in the grand scheme of things. When your revenue is like 500 million pounds, and you just squeeze an extra 2.5 million out of the fans, the amount of bad will that caused was I don't know. They just ain't got their heads screwed on sometimes. I don't understand their decision making. Yeah, if we get this Deadwood out, both Tap Sabre and Van der Vaart. I'm feeling a bit more optimistic about this actually. I would have been happy with one, but all right. With 3 defenders, then Jose, we're looking all right then, aren't we? Get rid of a few
Well,
other crappy ones.
well, if you could bring 3 in and you got Romero, that's your 4th. So playing just not being in Europe either. 4 centre halves playing a 4-4-2. 4 centre halves should be able to cover you. You wouldn't need to have 5 or 6 centre halves. Should be able to cover you. Which then, to me, in my personal opinion, means that we can get rid and we can start rebuilding. I'd like to see the major part of the rebuilding happen this summer, and then your tweaks as you go along happen in windows to come. But I'd like to see the major part happen this summer, and I can't see why, for the life of me, it can't happen. Because if you get rid, we've got 5 centre halves. If we get rid of the centre halves that we've got that we don't want, and bring in centre halves we do want, then that's the major part of the rebuild for me done already. Because it's the back line that's let us down in the last 4 or 5 years.
You think 63 goals letting in was somewhat disappointing, underwhelming last year? Because I did. It was they were diabolical, weren't they? I mean, they poor old Harry Kane and the people up front. It's like, oh my god, we've got to score another goal because of you muppets at the back. I mean, we're playing with a 2-man midfield, and you expect us to be able to score goals. Oh, and to be fair, we did score plenty of goals last season, but we just let too many in. That was the difference.
It's not just the letting goals in, Paul. It's just the way the defence plays and has played for the last 4 or 5 years. It's alarming. It's alarming. It's not just them. I mean, they look at each other and you think to yourself, do they know each other? It's like they've only just met on the day.
Yeah, they don't know what each other's doing. And I also think, because I don't like a back 5 anyway. In my mind, and like this could be complete crap, but this is just what I reckon. When you've got 3 central defenders, I think it causes a bit of ambiguity in responsibilities. There's not a proper partnership there. But 2 centre halves, I think that's when you get the Miller Roberts or Vertonghen and Alderweireld kind of combination happening, where they like just 2 strikers. They intuitively know what they should be doing and where they should be covering each other.
But sorry, go on,
for the goalkeeper as well. If the goalkeeper spills one, they're ready to pounce on it and get rid of it.
But if you look at someone like Man City, okay, well, not Man City, but you look at someone like Man City, you look at their defenders. They were playing most of the season with 4 centre halves playing across their back line. They weren't playing with right backs and left backs. They were playing with centre halves. At the end of the day, when they switch out their centre halves and bring another one in, all right, their quality's a lot better. But when they switch out their centre halves and bring another defender in, they look at home. They look at ease. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not only the goals we leak. It's just that we don't look at ease at all as a defensive team, as well as a defensive unit. We don't look at ease at all. So it's not just about the goals. I mean, yeah, up front we score goals galore all the time. Every season we score goals. We're always going to be in the top 5 or 6 teams for goals scored every season. But
yeah,
our defensively, we may not have let as many goals in the last 5 years as what we did last season. But looking at us defensively on the eye, we look shoddy. We need to change that defence up.
Yeah, well, 24Z, you got a good point here. Where I was coming from is 1 for now. I'd be all right, if it's a long rebuild. I don't know, but you're probably right, Jose. If we're getting rid of players, there's no reason why we can't do it. And you're right. If we got 1 good centre half in, then we're only 1 injury away, aren't we, from being shit again? So yeah, that's a fair point. I think we've got a bit of coverage outside of the defence, but not a lot. Well, we've got no coverage in the defence at all, have we? Was 24 exactly. We were playing with like 3-4 centre backs. One was inverting, going in the midfield. We could do that at times with Porro. Ben says you've got to be quality and love defending to play in a back three. Man, you're on the money. It's a real. This is something I've got a real bee in my bonnet about, Ben, because when you've got a player, and I know sometimes look, you can have a midfielder that goes back into defence. We did it with Steve Perryman, and he loved it. But when you've got a player like Eric Dyer going back into defence, you can see that he doesn't love defending because he doesn't know what he's doing. Like even when I used to play, I know I was rubbish. I was a fullback, but one thing I did love was getting that ball off the other team, and that was what I got a real kick off out of football. I love defending, and unless you've got players that love that, if you've just got make do players in there, your defence is always going to be crap. Playing a back three, Cellini, Bonucci, and Barzagli. What a unit! I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Packard, if you're already getting plenty of goals, expect plenty more. Absolutely. Like can you imagine? I mean, I'm so excited about. Kane's getting 30 last year. How many is he going to bloody get this year with Maddison feeding him through? I mean, it's just going to be bonkers, isn't it? I reckon he could be looking at 40 goals.
That would be brilliant.
Oh, amazing.
But it's not just Harry. It'd be from what Power called. I mean, I've commented saying excellent because it's great what he's saying. But you're not looking just Kane. You're looking all around. So more players getting in the action and scoring goals. So if you had Kane scoring 40 and other people chipping in and going above what they got last season, we could be in for a bumper goal scoring season.
A huge crop. Like, yeah, you're right. Like 40, say 35 from Kane. You're probably looking at 10 from Maddison, conservatively. 10 to 15 from Sonny. Maybe 7 to 10 from Cool. I mean, yeah, you're talking about a lot of goals. Maybe a fit Bentancur when he comes back, he pops a few in as well. You could be looking at bloody 80 goals or something. And if we've got a good defence, with a couple of tweaks and changes, I don't think we're far off. Maybe not this year, but if we keep going, I think we could be in a proper title challenge. I'm not saying win one, but in a proper title challenge, not just a crappy, we're always in second without a shot, but, a real sniff of it, especially playing the style of football that Ange likes. Ben says, I want to see some proper defending. Keep it simple. That's right, man. It's simple. Get the ball. It's a fullback. All you can do is get the ball and kick it forward because you've got a winger there. It's easy, man. Easy. Or kick it out. Kick it in the row Z. The stewards, no steward ever scored a goal. I don't know who said that. It wasn't me, but, if in doubt, kick it out. Mark's asking, do you think there will be a clean out of Deadwood when the squad comes back before the start of the season? Sounds tight. What do you reckon, Jose? Do you reckon that's on the cards?
Yeah, this year I do more than ever. I think in previous seasons, there hasn't been much noise around the club because I think the club realised, the players are exactly what, everyone sees that they are. And it's going to be hard to move players on, hence why we had 11 players out on loan last season. But the noises that are coming out this window are that, people were talking about ripping up contracts. People had already started saying that they want to move on. The club have stated, the club haven't come out and said this, but the club noises are saying that they want to move players on. So it sounds promising this window. So I think, there will be a clear out of players. However, how many players that is, I don't know. I think we need to get rid of a lot of players because our squad is bloated, and if you're going to bring players in, we'll still have a bloated squad unless we get rid of it. We have to get rid of at least 12 players from that squad, at least.
It's a lot, isn't it? Yeah,
yes,
it is. It's a lot. I like Ben's comment here. Kick the ball in the white rectangular thing. Stop the ball going in your white rectangular thing. The number of times we would fart about the back and kick it across our own white rectangular thing straight into the path of the other coloured shirted players was absolutely abysmal. I don't like that faffing around. I hate that tactic of faffing around at the back in the vain hope you're going to draw the other team onto you, and then all of a sudden you're going to be able to find a gap over the top or round the side or whatever. It's I don't like that style of football. Ange ain't going to be having it. He doesn't like any sidewards or backwards stuff anyway. But yeah, it's pretty. Football's a simple game, Ben, isn't it? It's a simple game, Jose. It's nothing, It's not difficult to understand. I don't know why some of our players have such trouble with it. Do you see Son playing as a centre forward in the Ange system if Kane leaves? Buggered if I know. What do you reckon? You reckon that's a goer?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because of the way that he plays. Well, I said this before, that with Ange, wherever he's been, he plays attacking football, but he's tweaked it over the years. He's made a minor tweak here and there, so he's adapted what his teams do. And if you're looking at the way he played with Celtic, with the front three, and they were interchanging, and they were selfless but interchanging, then I could see us surviving without Kane. And that's without bringing another forward in. I could see us Richarlison, Son, Solomon, Kulusevski, Porro. I can see us surviving without Kane. So yeah, if Kane was to go, I can see Son, Richarlison. I can see them interchanging. Playing across the front three. I can see them interchanging.
From the times I've watched Ange's team played, so I've seen. So that'd be Australia, Yokohama, and Celtic. It does look like it's much more total football, like you say. During the game, players are changing positions, and they're always covering each other and backing each other up, and it just makes it very, very dynamic. So yeah, you might have a point there. I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm getting a bit tired and hungry and sleepy. So sun's gone down, man. But did you put your channel thing in properly? Let's get it in properly here. Where is it? Eltel Cockerell. Oh, I'm really shit at this. YouTube.
You're a lot better. You're a lot better than me. Useless.
When my career was in IT as well, and like in the late 90s, I used to love all this stuff. But now I really
thank you, Ben. Ben's done it.
Oh right. Oh, of course I forgot. Ben's a mod. Hey. He's earned his stripes. Thanks very much, Ben. Cool, man. Cool.
Thank you, Ben. Much appreciated.
The connoisseur's mod of choice. Thanks very much, Ben. Cool. And have a good day to you all. So I'll knock you off here, Jose, and I'll just say goodbye. I'll just say goodbye as it is, actually. Thanks for coming on, Jose. And
thank you, Paul. Thank you for your time.
No worries, man. I'm looking forward to the next bit of Ange goodness in the secret, sneaky, embargoed section, part 2, the sequel.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's even better, because the sequel was better than the big one, because he went on about Ozzy and Ricky, and I was just like, it's so cool. All right, folks. Well, take care, everyone, and peace and love to you all. And as always, come on, you Spurs.